And we're back. And these next two titles, they have something in common.
Yeah, they're both Titans related. It's the classic Titans and a classic Titans villain who's off on his own series.
Yes. Who we see a lot of past and present with this title. Mm-hmm. And so let's just start discussing Deathstroke number 1, Deathstroke Professional Part 1, Among Thieves. And we get a lot of flashbacks in this issue with Deathstroke, a lot of photos. We see some photos of his life. We show a number of different times where I guess Slade is with a woman, and I forget what her name was, but I don't know if they mention who she is. And we also see Joey getting his throat slit, mm-hmm. Grant dying dressed as the Ravager, and Rose on the cover in her Ravager outfit. Mm-hmm. You think that in the coming issues that they're going to show these events, they're going to bring these characters back? What do you think? Why would you put this in if you're not going to expand upon them in future issues?
Yeah, especially to put Rose on the cover. And Rose doesn't actually really appear mm-hmm. in the comic. I mean, Rose had a fairly big role in the New 52 as Superboy's handler.
Yes.
She was with him for quite a bit. So it seems like they would. I mean, the Deathstroke Rebirth also mm-hmm. touched on his relationship with Grant and Joey. Mm-hmm. And so finally with these we see, Grant is presumably dead, just like what happened in the old comics. And, Joey got his throat slit, so he's presumably mute now. Assuming he survived. I mean, hopefully they did. If they killed Jericho, I'm going to be annoyed. But, so I think it sets up his universe, too. It's sort of an introduction to him, if you're not familiar with Deathstroke.
Yes. Deathstroke, master of the double cross, master of the triple cross.
I'm going on, like, quadruple cross at this point. This is a lot of crosses.
Yeah. So he funded the person's campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he blackmailed them.
Yeah.
And
essentially,
the congressman.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, he was hired to help Matthew Bland, the dictator president of this. Right. I don't think they ever mentioned what country it is in Africa, to help him get reelected. At the same time, he helps a congressman who is going to block any U.S. intervention in that country against Bland get reelected. At the same time, Deathstroke also sends him incriminating photos of him and doing some rather naughty things that cause that guy to jump off a building as soon as he sees them. Mm-hmm. So Cadulo ends up getting screwed in the... Sorry, I'm getting my dictators confused.
Exactly.
Bland. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Matthew Bland ends up getting sort of the raw end of the deal because he got what he wanted, but Deathstroke, puts in this little caveat that, you got what you wanted, you didn't ask for him alive.
Yeah. He keeps that a secret. Mm-hmm. So there might be more to Deathstroke than just what we see. And then Deathstroke also rescues the Clock King. Mm-hmm. Not the Clock King, I'm sorry. Deathstroke rescues Bland from the Clock King, but he doesn't kill him. But he kind of makes him worse off than what he was before.
Yeah. At least it looks like it for that little bit. And it's also worth noting that when he saves Wintergreen at the end of the last issue, he gets told to name the word Kenilworth.
Right.
And he runs to this hidden fortress that
hidden
terrorists
bunker,
have. Yeah, and he finds Wintergreen. Mm-hmm. And Wintergreen's been held hostage for a while. He was abducted from one of their safe houses.
Yep.
They took him. They took one of Slade's weapons lockers, too, which I thought was just kind of weird. I mean, it's almost like at that point you're expecting him to come in, and in that, because at that point Slade had used his previous Deathstroke outfit on a corpse they had to make it look like he was dead, so he could get into the camp. And now he gets another outfit, which he calls the Icon outfit, made by Dr. Icon, and it doesn't look that much different. It has kind of snazzy silver arm. kind of shades of the Winter Soldier a little bit, but he gets out, and then at the end of this issue, Matthew Bland notes that all that was just to get you to change your clothes.
Right, exactly.
Apparently, someone wanted him to wear this icon outfit.
Right.
And Bland says, "Oh, you must have really peeved off the wrong person this time."
Yes,
so
because it was weird. The whole thing was, how do we get his DNA or something? Because he is a superhuman. So they were not only getting the suit, but they were trying to get the DNA, maybe getting the DNA on it to get his genetic code to maybe replicate the powers that Slade has.
Yeah, just like sort of like with Captain America in Marvel Comics, trying to recreate that. And as powerful as Deathstroke is, both mentally and physically, they want to do that too.
Wintergreen has been locked up for so many years. He was hallucinating this vision of Slade rescuing him.
Yeah.
So Slade had to knock him out. Not knock him out. He had to punch him, knock him down to snap him back into reality. This guy's been locked up for quite a while.
Yeah, and it's funny because even that's after they confront the Clock King.
Yep.
And the Clock King's doing all of these superpowers and stuff, and Wintergreen says, "Well, this is the dream I've had before."
Right.
I mean, and it's funny that he would even be dreaming about the Clock King. That doesn't even register in his book.
In the banter that Slade and Wintergreen have back and forth, like old war buddies that shoot in the breeze. How's your golf game? Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Very unique dynamic, to say the least.
Yeah. Very confused dynamic, especially when because Wintergreen says that right after he screams at Deathstroke that wait, you're finally here to save me? I've been waiting for you for that long. What were you doing? And he says, I was golfing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see much golf in future issues.
I would kind of like to see Slade golfing at some point. That would be good. At some point, just one panel. I just want to see what it's like.
Where do you think because I think these first two issues were really kind of a setup to get to the future story arcs. Where do you see Deathstroke going from here?
Well, I mean, it looks like he's going to have to deal with someone who is trying to manipulate things behind the scenes, which is going to be hard for him because that's what he does too. I mean, he manipulates things behind the scenes, so it's going to be probably more double crosses and triple crosses coming up because that was a ride.
It was.
That was a lot of wow.
It was a lot of espionage and a lot of subtleties on a lot of levels.
Yeah,
and it's hopefully we don't have to read and double read and triple read to find the nuances of this title.
Yeah.
But it's interesting in that we'll see what happens with Deathstroke in the weeks ahead. Titans number 2, The Return of Wally West Part 2, Smoke and Mirrors. Wow. Very interesting issue.
Yeah. So Abracadabra has finally taken his first strike against the Titans.
Yes.
And that's by creating his own team of Titans. His own sort of, soulless puppet Titans, which I thought was really cool, is that they're in sort of variations of their classic outfits.
Yes, they were.
Too, which was kind of neat. So, his version of Arsenal is New 52 Arsenal. His Kid Flash, his Wally West is the old two-tone Kid Flash outfit. Donna Troy's in her old yellow, her old red
Wonder Girl.
Suit. Yeah, Wonder Girl. Yeah, it was a really neat way to do that. And of course, the Titans get brought in to fight them immediately, and these Ebra's duplicates actually do a pretty good job fighting them. Yeah,
they were it was cool to see a modernization of kind of the Teen Titans, pretty much the original Teen Titans.
Yeah,
a modernization, but he blames Wally for everything that's happened to him in terms of, in order for him to erase Wally out of existence, it took a great toll out of him. But then when the Wally West and Iris meet up, it's kind of insinuated that the timeline has been damaged in some way because they weren't supposed to meet until a few years later.
Yeah, that's at least according to Abracadabra's history, which, I mean, going back to like the old comics when he first met Wally West as the Flash, I mean, Wally and Linda had already met. So this
Right.
is sort of this is a different timeline for Abra.
Yep.
So this might even be a different Abracadabra. But it's also interesting, too, is he blames Wally so much, is that, it seems like he's sort of anchored to Wally.
Yes.
And it seems like if Wally gets pulled out by, he was sort of taken out of the game prior to this, it almost stands to reason that might be what happened to Abracadabra. If Wally disappears, maybe that had that was just collateral damage for Abracadabra, and he ended up as, what did he call himself, Hocus Pocus?
Yes.
Hocus Pocus. Kids magician. So maybe it's not even Wally's fault, possibly, but that's probably not going to mean much to Abra. He's pretty nuts, and at the end of this issue, he's already trying to take out Aqualad.
Yep. Yeah, Cadabra looks out his pocket watch and noticing, like, I don't have much time, which I thought was kind of weird. And then he's saying, I have to speed up what I was going to do. And you see the Titans fighting their doppelgangers, and when Wonder Girl wraps the lasso of truth around the puppet, Wonder Girl wraps the lasso of truth around Arsinoe.
Lasso of persuasion.
Lasso of persuasion.
Yeah.
I love you. Really? Well, I am under your control or something. He uses the rope against her. That was that was cool. And then also when the fake, what is her name? Now I'm drawing a blank.
Lilith Clay? Yeah.
Yep, Lilith Clay. When she names the villain, the Titans don't know who he is. But they know it's a big hitter because of what's been going on.
Yeah, and the only one who knows is Wally.
Yeah.
Because he hears the name Cadabra, and he knows that means business from his Flash days. And
Aqualad tries to take out Cadabra, but Cadabra looks like he took him out.
Yeah, that looks... Wally saves him kind of as he's getting zapped.
Right.
So we'll see if Garth can come back from that, because that looked like a pretty good zapping right there. So,
it definitely did.
For lack of a better term, but we'll see if he survives that.
What's your take on the Titans as a unit? Because they seem to mesh pretty well. When sometimes you get character books and the sum don't equal up the parts, but this one does. So far, what we've seen, this one, you have that familiarity with the characters and with the team.
Yeah. I will say the one thing I would like to see a little bit more of would be Lilith as Omen, because she, granted, her powers sort of mean she stays at the back, but I would like to see her a little bit more, because I think of that group, she would be the most unfamiliar to readers, because she has only been with the Teen Titans for sort of isolated pockets. So I think it would be nice to showcase her a bit more. But yeah, it's a team that meshes really well.
Definitely. And this does have ties into DC Universe Rebirth and the overarching saga. Not quite sure how it all is going to play out, but this is one title you definitely want to keep an eye on because of the Flash, Wally West, and because there are some definite pointers and anchors to the overarching Watchmen storyline. In the weeks ahead, we'll see where this goes. We are going to take another break, and when we come back, we are going to wrap it up with the Flash number 5 and the Flash number 6, and we'll be right back.